Relocating and renaming is another way to manage the redo log files. So redo log files within the files means the members, the files we are managing. We can relocate, we can take from one place to another place, or we can rename the file. Sometimes we need these things because of conflicting with the names. So in this particular module, we will discuss the reasons of relocating the logs, why we need this one and why we actually managing this one, what happens exactly when we decide. Renaming is another way of managing the members, what to do before relocation. So what are the precautions or measures that we can manage before performing this particular task. Steps to relocating logs and similarly metadata of redo log files, how to analyze the things and how to see the things, that what exactly we have done it or what we are going to do it. So before doing these things or even after doing this thing, we can manage the metadata. Reasons: you can use operating system commands to relocate the redo log files, then use the alter database statement to make their new names known to the database. So basically idea is that we can drag and drop the files in the visual form from one folder to other or one place to other place, or we can use the DOS command, copy command or CP command in Linux or Unix and to move the files from one place to other place. The idea is that when the files is moved from the original place, database does not know where the file has gone. So if you restart the database, the error message will come up that active redo log files are not available, or with some other errors will come up that we will discuss in the incoming lectures. In that particular case, we need to inform the database by managing alter database again, so that we can redirect those particular files from the old location to the new location. This procedure is necessary, for example, if the disk currently used for some redo log files is going to be removed, or if data files and several redo log files are stored on the same disk. So it should be separated to the reduction contention or something. So sometimes reduction contention means that same place, same files are available, and that particular case the error will come up or retention error will come up, which means that at one particular place the reading of the file will be inconsistent, or same file will be read at the same place. That will basically call the retention. Renaming, sometimes we create as per purpose, that sometimes we normally create the files and those file names are depending upon the situations are okay, but for some later on when we have a lot of other different activities will come up, and if we create more groups, then in that particular case we may have a conflict of name, or sometimes we cannot recognize from which group which particular file is available, because we normally keep our files as a backup for the full backup point of view, and sometimes we cannot figure out that which files come up from which group or something. So again, for the rename of the file, we will use alter database command. Additionally, you might also need operating system privileges to copy the files. So precautions means that we must have options for privileges, because DBA has sometimes limited options for given by the network administrator, and those particular folders are normally available for the read-only purpose or for limited purpose or something. So basically operating system privileges are very important for copying and moving or shifting the file from one place to the other place. So what to do before relocating the files? Your redo logs or making another structural changes to the database, completely back up the database in case you experience some kind of problem. So as usual, DBA always has the responsibility to perform such activities. Okay, but the only thing is that DBA must have to take the backup before managing these things. So any drastical problem can come up. So if we relocate the files and return back to the same place, database will become in inconsistent situations, and loss of data can come up, and any catastrophic kind of dilemma may come up. So basically, again, I'm repeating, the DBA always have to be very careful to manage these activities. So one of the major activities is required for this one is to, as a precaution, to keep the backup before performing these tasks. So steps for relocating read to log files means are located on two disks. Let's suppose log files are located on two disks, disk A and disk B. The read to log file is a duplex one group. So within one group is a consist of members. These are the members. Let's suppose within these disk A and disk B partition, or alternatively, if you are using Windows operating system, so definitely you will give your own path, and we can say log1a.rdo, log1b.rdo. The second group consists of log2a and log2b. So this is how we can allocate and relocate this files and steps. So basically idea is that folder should be same or consistent in the same way, the way it is shown in this slide. So the redo log files located on disk A must be relocated to disk C. The new file names will reflect the new location. So in that particular case, we can say log1C. In this particular C means the log2C. So we can relocate the files from log1C to log2C, which is under the same folder. So what metadata we will use for these things, or for what kind of things we can manage? We can manage by using system change number. So whenever we perform the task like adding a file or moving a file from one place to other, system will generate a change number. Similarly, we can switch from one mode to the other mode that we will study later on, and in that particular case we can say that metadata will be performed. So redo log records have all relevant metadata of the change, including the following. So we can say SCN and timestamp of the change, transaction ID, the transaction that generated the change. Change means that we can manage to move the file from one place to other place, or we can rename the files at the same place. SCN and timestamp when the transaction committed, if it is committed, or in that particular case SCN will be managed. Type of operation that made the change, so those particular operations basically performed, and the log will be generated accordingly. Or if DBA want to see what activities are going on, DBA can see the things from SCN. So later on we will use this command to see the SCN name and type of modified data segment. So SCN means system change name.